Bell copper. Everybody says, what happened there? They were drilling those holes at Big Sandy on the basis that, man, they can make a big porphyry discovery, kind of like Ivanhoe has down there at Santa Cruz in Arizona. Bell copper ran out of money. Okay, plain and simple. Copper prices fell shortly after they kind of got, made an initial discovery, we'll say. Long interval of 0.3, 0.4% copper in supergene mineralization at depth. Basically, the proof of concept, their target. Okay, doesn't mean there's nothing there now. No, it's actually, if anything, it's already been confirmed that this is a discovery, but they need to get back on their feet. All right, so Bell Copper, I would expect them to get back on their feet, and I am bringing this one up because recently there was a really interesting video. Go to the next slide. About the geology of the target, and this was actually a video. You can see the URL up at the top there. If you want, a boring geology lecture to watch over the weekend, go to YouTube and watch the video. Okay, it talks about the whole concept that Tim Marsh has about this porphyry and how it's been faulted, been broken and displaced, and is now sitting underneath this valley. And you can see, and this is actually by USGS. This is Geological Survey people doing this. This is not Tim. It's actually independent geologists who have drawn this and taken the data and surmised, yeah, this is likely a porphyry under there. Okay, so you can see where some of the holes are. Some of them didn't make it through the gravels, which are in the light green, but a couple of them did get down and they tagged that porphyry. They tagged either supergene, which is the oxidized mineralization at the top, or a bit of hypogene. Okay, so we know it's down there. Okay, now Tim is wanting to get going again. He has a hole number 4 that's down a ways. It's like 1,300 meters down, and he's not quite reached the target yet. So he is going to try to give it a heave-ho very shortly. I got to hand it to him. That's, if anything, that's the most perseverant, dedicated exploration effort I've ever seen in my life. I really hope he makes it. Okay, no promises, but when they resume hole 4, it should test the deeper part of that porphyry system, and we're going to see. We're going to see a verification, hopefully, of a major discovery here. Okay, so stay tuned. That's one you should put back on your radar, because I do think they'll pull something off over the next few months. Go to the next slide. Another story, BCM. Everybody says, what happened to BCM? Look, this discovery that Sergei Dyatlov has made in southwest Utah is one of the most compelling discoveries in our portfolio and underappreciated discoveries in our portfolio. Okay, it's that short, simple. Basically, they have made a discovery. Go to the next slide. At Thompson Knolls. And you can see here in hole number 8, in particular, TK8, they hit 510 feet, which is 155 meters, more or less, of 0.66% copper, 0.1 gram gold, as well as a bit of silver, almost, little bit more than a quarter ounce per ton silver, as well as moly. Okay, significant moly, 95 ppm. Okay, so this value is in gold world is about 1.3 gram per ton gold equivalent. Okay, so this is over a 200 gram meter hole. This is a discovery level hole. Okay, now have they drilled more holes here? No, they ran out of money. They tried drilling some additional holes and simply ran short on cash, and they had to park everything up. It is a heartbreak, but it is a sign of the market. Just no cash available out there. Now, does it mean they don't have a discovery? No, they have a discovery. This is one of the best discoveries I've seen in my career. There's a big stinking porphyry with a big stinking skarn system down there. I like it so much, I actually paid. I'm supporting a student who's at Colorado School of Mines studying under one of my friends down there, a professor, who is currently taking all of the data from TK, all the drill holes, and putting together a very detailed model, 3D model, that should help the company vector in on drilling more holes. Okay, so as the market gets going here, I want to see them have all their ducks in a row where they can go out in the field and start drilling and hit the big prize. I think this hole number 8 is a warm-up act. I think there's something huge here. I truly do. And I say that because if you look around this region, there are some monster deposits. Bingham Canyon is a couple of hundred miles to the north. And then the Robinson deposit over at Ely is 70 miles, I think, to the west. I mean, this is elephant country, and these guys have tagged an elephant. You don't see this, at random. This is a discovery. Go to the next slide. And I say that too because of the core. Look, the mineralization here is absolutely gorgeous. A lot of chalcopyrite in a magnetite skarn. This is truly, without sounding misogynistic, this is a man's deposit. This is a manly discovery. Okay, this is the kind of discovery anybody should get excited about, and they've made it hands down. Okay, massive magnetite with sulfides, including chalcopyrite, etc. They have made the discovery. Think about where they were when they started, when we first invested. They had a drill hole that went down and barely just pricked, the top of the system. It was enough information to say, yep, there's something down there, but now they have it. Okay, why would people give up on this? Well, the market's terrible. There's no money, but they have a discovery, and we're going to try to help them get their feet back up, underneath them. All right, let's go to the next slide. Barksdale. Wow. Okay, this is a big story because this is one of the most geologically assured targets I've ever seen in my career. I did talk to Peter McGaw about this target a couple of weeks ago, so I have his insight as well, which is really nice because Peter really devised or worked on his CRD model at this location, the Sunnyside Hermosa area, where you have a porphyry and a bunch of limestones. And, his model for CRD, the one that you see on the internet over and over again, that is a picture of Taylor, okay? And this target that Barksdale has, the down dip of Taylor. All right. It is the most compelling geologic story I know of. Like, there's already a couple of drill holes in there. A circle drilled some holes. Go to the next slide. You can see from this cross section, those orange ticks down there in the drill holes have hit nice fat intercepts of high-grade CRD mineralization, and it is immediately down dip from Taylor. Okay, this is a no-brainer in my view. The rocks are still there, nothing's happened, but last year when they tried to drill it, they had terrible trouble trying to get the holes down. I have gotten enough insight about the situation to know that the driller really underperformed. I got to say it's incredibly disappointing when I heard about the terrible performance of the driller. I would actually say that they are the problem, why the company didn't reach target. Okay, does that mean it's dead? No. Okay, we're going to help these guys get their legs back. Go to the next slide. Like, without talking too much here, I am working frantically right now. This is where we get our hands dirty. We pop the hood and let's take a look at what's going on here. And we're going to shake things up and make things work. Okay, we're going to try to come in and work with the team at Barksdale, who are a solid team, and probably bring some more technical help and some other stuff. Maybe find a decent driller for them. And look, I really get my hands dirty with stories like this. We're going to kick this thing in the pants, and we're going to get it going again. Okay, this is a story that will come back. Why am I so convicted? Because look at that cross section I just showed you. It's the down dip of Taylor. There's a $2 billion mine going in right next door. If these guys drill a few holes and look, I think after talking to Peter, I think there's a lot more potential in this district than is even presented in that cross section. Okay, if these guys hit bigly, which I think they will, S32, the neighbor next door at Taylor, is going to have to buy these guys, or somebody is, and they're going to all it's going to be one of the biggest metal mines on earth. All right, so it's a big prize. We're gonna make it go again. Let's go to the next slide now. I'm jumping straight over in updates now. It's kind of a continuum. Okay, so this week my objective is to talk about targets that will kind of get resurrected and going again here in the next few months. Okay, so I went from some stories that I think are very compelling. I'm going to go straight into some news releases where companies are announcing they're getting back to work and I think are equally compelling. Western Alaska talks this week about getting back in the field. And Nathaniel, I'm going to ask you if you could zoom to full screen because my eyes are terrible. But you can see they are getting back into the saddle and they're going to start testing the CRD system. You remember they did come up with a resource. Okay, they announced a resource of about 75 million ounce silver equivalent at nearly 1 kilo of silver equivalent per ton. That's a remarkable start. Okay, but it's a small part of a much bigger system. Think of it as the tip of a finger, and they're going to find the rest of the finger and the hand and so forth. There's a lot more to be found here, and I think we're going to see them. He talks about it being a tentacle shaped deposit. I think Peter McGaw's analogy that it's like a skeletal hand, bones of a hand, I think is also a good analogy. They're going to start testing south of the Illinois Creek Fault and trying to find the rest of that tonnage. Okay, I think there's going to be a big discovery here. Do not forget, Illinois Creek deposit, which is part of the CRD system, is like almost 2 kilometers to the southwest. So we know that the skeletal hand is there in that part of the terrain, because how could you have a finger without the rest of the hand? You got your hand, you got the finger. Where's the rest of it? It's in there. Okay, they're going to find it this year. I'm very confident. They're cashed up. Let's wish them luck. There is a beautiful video you guys should watch. There's the link down at the bottom. It's Peter McGaw. Again, Peter's name comes up a lot in CRDs. He's their advisor, and he gives an overview of what they have and what they're doing. Okay, so I really highly recommend you watch that over the weekend. Go to the next slide. Okay, Fathom Nickel put out results from Goshager Lake this week. Some really sturdy results. You can see 7.4 meters at about 1.7 or 8 combined percentage combined nickel copper with a bit of cobalt as well. They continue to hit every time they drill an EM anomaly, an off-hole EM anomaly, they hit mineralization. Okay, so it's really encouraging to see them drill these holes and continue to hit nice high-grade mineralization. Look at the hole below there, 3.96 meters, almost 4 meters at 2.28% nickel, 0.5% copper, and again, pretty elevated cobalt, okay, 0.18%. These are very high-grade zones, hits. I am very confident that they have a big metal system here. In fact, these drill results are equally as good as anything you ever saw out of Azure Minerals, which is over in Australia, drilling a very similar system. And it just blows my mind that here in Canada, where Canadians used to just be all about nickel, it seems like there's crickets. Nobody cares. Well, part of it's the nickel price. Okay, I can understand. But nickel price has actually come way back up here recently. It's like $10 a pound again. Okay, but results like this fall on deaf ears. And I think it's a crying shame because these guys have actually made a great deal of progress. Go to the next slide. In defining the system. Okay, now they can see from the drilling they've done over the past couple of years that the thing trends northeast. There's a corridor basically of prospective stratigraphy is what they call it. It's really prospective host rock type. It's an intrusion or intrusions of gabbro, which is a mafic ultramafic rock type that generates these magmatic nickel deposits. Okay, so they've identified this corridor, and yeah, they focus all their drilling in this narrow segment of that. But the system is wide open along strike, both to the southwest and to the northeast. I think there's a lot more here, and given the grades that we're seeing, in these drill holes, I think the company needs to keep at it, keep drilling. They have even more off-hole EM anomalies that could generate even more results. Go to the next slide. Here you can see a long section with all the drill holes that they've hit so far, and they've defined a pretty robust blob of mineralization. There's a little cross fault about halfway down that's kind of just gently displaced things, but other than that, this thing is open to the northeast, to the southwest, at depth I think they have a really big system here, and in places it's very high grade. Okay, this is a project that needs more love, needs more money, definitely, and more drilling. Go to the next slide. Here's a cross-sectional view. So now you can see the package of rock. That's that prospective stratigraphy, which is mainly these intrusions, these gabbro intrusions. And the sulfide occurs in lenses within that. And you can see how it's distributed. It's almost like veins. It's near vertical structures that are sheet-like. They go along strike. This is actually a pretty good deposit to mine underground. Like I can actually see, a modest size but mineable deposit already, and it's wide open along strike. Go to the next slide. I think this slide actually shows you a very robust section here. I mean, look at that. You got some very high grades up there at the top. 2.43% nickel, 0.55% copper. That's beautiful stuff. And if you can chase that along strike, this is a very, very easily, economic deposit. It can be mined underground. Okay. Do they have it? Yes, I think they do. I think they need to be a little bit bolder in testing along strike. Okay. Because if they step out a few hundred meters this way and that way, and they start to see this stuff hang together over a longer strike, or they see a fatter zone or whatever, this thing could take off very, very quickly. Okay, so I love this project. I love the results they've gotten to date, and I think they need to continue.